Today's Monday, and I've given some thought about uh, the Bucks County court reporter reaching out to my family, my sister, 24 years later, asking about my whereabouts, what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, uh, and I'm a little bit concerned about that because that that's been a telltale sign of she's going to do something or she's planning on something or was trying to plan on something. And I never give that much thought when I made the first video about um, my thoughts about why she was asking. But what I kind of thought that after the fact that when my when my sister gave her point blank answers for all of her questions, and then when she got frustrated, I wish my sister would get on here and let her tell the story because she would tell it better. But I remember my sister. Now this is obviously third-hand information. My sister said she's worried about her. I'm messing with her livelihood. That was her words, and so it was kind of a threat. She's you know getting my sister involved in something that doesn't involve my sister. Um, but then it, you know my sister said she can talk her language. And I remember her saying that she seemed like she was very frustrated. And, with the answers that she was giving my sister, that was according to my sister. Now, this isn't firsthand. I didn't take the text messages, but according to my sister, I remember her saying that she was very frustrated. And frustrated that she didn't know my all of my life, like she wanted specific details, which is very odd, breaking up 25 years ago and not having anything to do with me. Where I work, where I live, what I'm doing, what am I doing it with, what are my weekends like, what is my time off like. Those are very personal questions for somebody who is digging for something. So in her past, yes, I do have concern with that. Now, I went over some of them the last time. But what I didn't really get to sit down and talk and ask my sister is, I mean, I wanted to ask more questions because I kind of feel like when she found out I didn't have a car and I'm not driving to Pennsylvania, and if I did have to drive to Pennsylvania, I had to take a train or bus to get into Philadelphia or to Bucks County. Um, Obviously, I can use cash to do it, so I'm not going to travel up to Bucks County, take all those buses, trains that go up there for any reason. But I guess what I was concerned about is what I don't know. And had I had a car, could she have tried to say that I went up there at some point and did something? So I feel like I, this isn't this is based on facts, but I mean what I'm saying is that I wouldn't be surprised if she was going to try to do something nefarious in order to blame me for something that she's going to do. I'm saying that only because she's done that in the past. Um, the lies on my police report that put me in jail, that was a lie. I never ripped apart Bucks County and Yardley Borough Police Department for the false arrest. That's coming. The false arrest for my first one, the year 2020, that one needs to be pulled apart. I need to post about that. But more specifically, inside of, let me show you how Bucks County doesn't want to do their due diligence. In that police report that she says that I was harassing her, that led to my arrest, in the police report, she wrote uh, the statement from the police. I don't have a statement because they never asked me. Now, if the police were good police work, Yardley Borough, to be more specific, and had my public pretender asked me about the details within what was being said and what was done, Well, let me start with the most obvious and easiest one to conclude to was is uh, the Bucks County court reporter told the police that my Jeep Cherokee was at her house. Now, is that a big deal? I mean, it's her place is private property, but I wasn't there. Um, I don't own a Jeep Cherokee. I've never owned a Jeep Cherokee, but it says it plain as day. No plate number. It just says my Jeep Cherokee. I've never owned one, but because Bucks County and Yardley Borough didn't care about that fact, they got it wrong. Besides the fact that them setting me up that day, they called me to tell me to bring over more information I have about her. So when I did, then I got threatened by the police, in which case they tried to set me up by having me put my hands on him. The minute I put my hands on him, he would have 302'd me, put me in jail, and then, like I said in the video, I made three videos, 4 videos that day, and I told about that day. But had I put my hands on Officer Glock, um, I would have been 302. Now, because that didn't work with them, then they ended up calling Lenape Valley and sent them to my house to try to prove a 302 incident. So they were trying to fish for something. So somehow Bucks County seems to think I have a mental health issue. And where did they get that from? Well, they got that from the one and only the court reporter that the police don't know who she is. So I need to really at some point deep dive into both of my arrests and post them online because that's important. So they came at me. So she used them to get at me. So that's one thing. What they were doing it to me in jail, being assaulted 2 times in 2 different places, unprovoked, was them behind it. Me staying in longer than 3 months was my public pretenders behind it. Let's see. Before that, my arrest, the day I was arrested, well, I didn't get arrested till 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, after I went to the DA and told them, the DA, that I was assaulted by Officer Glock. But that same day, that when I went up to Yardley after summons to do so, I after the attack from the police, I went to Lower Makefield Township and told them and reported this to them too. They didn't take a report down, which was very, very odd. But I guess this is what happens in this day and age. When they don't want to be involved, they just don't make a report. When a constituent comes that lives in Lower Mayfield goes to Lower Mayfield Police and say, "Hey, I was just attacked by this police officer. What should I do?" And he tells me, "Well, give a call to his chief of police," and that's how I was told to handle it. But the magical thing, oh no, oh, okay. In between that, if you look on my post that I wrote about this conversation with somebody from uh, from an app that knew her, came at me on a specific app, and you can read all about that interaction. That it's her behind attacking me on a app. Nothing to do with her, but some man came at me and told me certain things about myself, and then says her name, and I posted that on there. So yeah, somebody coming after me like that, sure. But the week before I was arrested, it was my friend Lindsay Deal who told me to don't go after Josh and to don't go after him and leave him alone and don't go after him. And she begged and pleaded, and I think I wrote the video about this. How she begged and pleaded for me not to go. Now, mind you, at that time when she was saying these words to me, "Don't go after Josh, don't go after Josh, don't go after Josh, please, 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 please," begging, 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 like this went on for like 10 minutes, and it was hard to see my best friend, a woman I'd known for many years, and know her family, and know her son, and know her mom, and her relatives in Virginia and friends that we worked with, and we're longtime friends. We went to see Rihanna. I went to, I got a lot about that. But to see my friend, the fear that whoever talked to her, I don't know who else is in this case. Somebody talked to my friend, told her to warn me. Well, she warned me that they were going to come after me, to not go after him. I was told not to, and I didn't listen, and that's my problem. I don't listen when people tell me. When the 2 years before, I took a flight down to Dallas, Texas, to see my friend Alina, and she's a higher up in a Dallas uh, hospital. And I went down for the sole purpose of seeing her face to face and show her a document that says my son was abused. And wouldn't you know, I spent 4 days. Love Dallas. Don't like the stadium. I think that they should rename them and rebrand them somewhere something else. The Dallas Cowgirls got to go. There's for my peeps at the Home Depot. Um, I spent 4 or 5 days there. We drove around Fort Worth and all these different towns, and we spent some good times. I had a great time learning about Dallas. I wanted to go see the artifacts from the Aztecs and whatnot. There was not a lot of exhibits for that stuff down there. I guess America tore them all down and hoped they would never be seen again. But after before my trip was over, um, we're sitting in the car, we're driving, and she just turns to me and says, uh, there's no child abuse there. And I'm taken back by surprise, uh, because Alina didn't even look at the paper that I wanted to show her. And without even looking at it, she says out of her mouth, there is no child abuse there. And that's the same message I've been getting from Bucks County for the longest time. But how does somebody who runs hospitals, who knows ER, who knows trauma, who knows um, so much about forensics in the medical field, tell me, her friend, that we went country line dancing and we learned ballroom dancing. We were partners for that when she lived up here in Bucks County. Um, but how does my friend say without even looking, there's nothing there? Well, that was kind of scary too. And I said, okay, well, this is too weird. I mean, how does she don't even look at it? It's weird. Okay, all right. I hear you. I'm not going to argue the issue. I'm not going to point out the fact that you didn't look at it. You didn't go through it. We didn't have a discussion about it. And how does she blanket statement says that? So that's the same exact thing that Yardley Borough has said, and so forth. So I'm like really flabbergasted about that. But then before that, what was the other time? The voicemail that I have posted that was from 3/14/2012 when she attacked me on the voicemail. That day, she sent over, she switched out a class 2, a type 2, uh, class 2 controlled substance. She manipulated his Vyvanse, put something else, it looked like poison or it looked like crystallized something. It didn't look like the normal Vyvanse little balls. It was a different texture, different color. And me in the moment, when I was giving this medicine for Josh for his school before he went there, um, I remember opening up the capsules because she only had the control of the medication. She tried poisoning her kids. Uh, she switched out the medication. I will swear on my Bible. I will take a lie detector test. I lost a friendship over this for a few years about this. So thinking it was my friend, and it really wasn't because he didn't have the opportunity to do it. But I still stopped being friends with him because of such thing, because I didn't want him to be in trouble for it. But I know that she switched the medication. Then she left that voicemail saying I didn't give him his medication because she knows that for a fact because she gave something else. But I caught on to it, and because I was focused on getting him to school and getting myself to work at that moment, I didn't think about anything else but him and about us. I was like, okay, I didn't save it, which I wish I did. I didn't call the police. I should have stopped. If knowing what I know now, then I would have stopped him right there and then. I would have called the police and say, "Listen, you need to get over here. There's some other substance that doesn't belong in here in my son's medication that the pharmacy or the mother or somebody fucked with." Excuse my language. And I was angry. I was totally angry. I was like, "What would make a person switch out the boy's medication when he needs it?" And it wasn't me. I didn't do it. And it wasn't my buddy Chris. So who else has the medication? Well, one person does. So she switches out the medication, puts it looks like sea salt. I don't know what it was, but I did not give it to him. I didn't have, that was my last pill that day. That was a Monday. And I don't get him back again until Friday. And it was my last pill. She only gave me exactly what I needed, which was both it's his own topic. She sends a placebo. I catch it. I walk him into school. I give him his medication from the school nurse. I pull the thing out, get some apple juice or applesauce, put it on there, and let him take this pill. So I definitely gave him his medication. It was just from school, not the one she sent to try to trick me into making it sound like I didn't give him his medication because she forged it. This is, who does that? Who? And then to call me, telling me what she's doing, because that's what she did, is she told me that she told me this. She put that out there. She says, I did not give him his, listen to the voicemail. I didn't give his medication today. I didn't do this. She makes all these accusations for someone who lives 4 miles from me, who doesn't even know, doesn't have a camera, we weren't that close. Like that. And they tell me I'm in my pajamas and telling me all these things. She's telling me the person inside of her head. There is a person inside of her head that is imitating me, that she thinks I'm this guy that she's messing with. Like she says on that voicemail that I'm a self-professed child molester. That's what she said. And I took that to the police because that's serious. That was serious to me. For someone to make some sort of accusation that I'm a self-professed child molester, know about me. What'd she say in the video, in the voicemail? I heard you told me about the kids in the neighborhood coming to my house. Yes, all the kids came to my house because my house was the house that all the kids played at. That's my blessing. I will never apologize for that. But for this woman to even put out there, to think in her head that there's something nefarious going on with her son, which is cause to go to police. Which I did, I went to the police. But if I knew something was nefarious around her house, I would have went to the police. Why didn't she go to the police and say this stuff to them? I did. I took that voicemail, went to the police and say she's threatening me, she's harassing me. The judge is not going to give me my custody. I've been in and out of this boy's life 4 times. In and out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And this woman is saying these things. She's been leading on every time. Before she does something, she's always been telling me, in a way, to watch out. In her own special way. This is no different. Except she went through my sister, instead of leaving me a voicemail like she did back then. Did she want my information so she could say I did something to her? When all the facts have been wrong this whole time and nobody cares, and Bucks County hasn't cared, and Yardley Borough hasn't cared, and nobody cares about the details, when I'm caring about the details? Yeah. I am worried about her safety. I'm worried about his safety. I'm worried about my safety. Somebody with FDIA, she is definitely a Dee Blanchard to a T, except instead of fooling just doctors, this woman has fooled Bucks County. Shame on them. And they were warned. So if anything happens to my son, if anything happens to me, anything happens to my family, I'm just saying, this woman, I warned Bucks County, she's not stable. If you're going to interview her, do it where my son is safe. Uh, with her sort, with FDIA, uh, it is the most lethal form of abuse, which usually means there's a death usually entangled within this FDIA thing, and this woman makes Dee Dee Blanchard look like a saint. So I know what Gypsy Rose went through. I know what she feels like. I know I've seen these things firsthand about the lies and manipulating and things like that. I do, and I don't want anything to happen to any of us. And I do want this woman to get help, and I asked Bucks to help me help her. I said to do it very cautiously. If you're going to ask her any specifics about anything, if you're going to question my son, make sure, because once the problem with this sort of with this illness, it is the what's the word I'm looking for? She once she found out she got, once she finds out she got and her story can't jive anymore, she's gonna lose her shit. Okay, once she's been having to fool Bucks County for so many years. Once anybody starts to tie some of that stuff together, she's gonna lose it. And I don't want her to lose it. And I don't want my son to lose his mom. And I don't want her to come after me. And I don't want her to leave my family alone. And I want her to go get the help she wants. But I cannot help but not posting the importance about dealing with somebody with these sort of mental health issues. If she believes that I'm a child molester, she should have went to the police. If she believes I didn't give him his medication when I absolutely 100% did, and she's telling me I didn't, and wasn't even there, and she's telling me I did something I didn't do. Well, that's a flag, bro. That's a flag. She telling me I'm doing something I didn't do, and bro, you can't tell me that I didn't give my son medication. When I took him into school, walked him into the nurse's office, sat him down, took the medication out of the package, went in there, gave him his medicine, kissed him goodbye, loved him, have a good day, hug, and then I get in my car and I go to work because life, you got to move on. So I was moving on. I wasn't really thinking about it then. I wasn't really thinking about, I'm like, I blame myself for being able to handle myself under pressure. At that time, I know now I should have paused. That's why I paused so much after that happened. It taught me to say, hey, listen, she's up to something no good. And what she's saying is, you got to be worried about the things that she's saying, losing my custody, which I did, threatened me if I don't back down, that she's going to take him away from me, which she did. And I backed down, and I still lost my custody. And so all these threats she's done before in the past, and there's a lot more that I could go through, but for the purpose of this and her message to me, it speaks volumes to the legacy that she has coming after me. Um, and she really tried to come after me from day one. The only thing difference is I've seen patterns like this from other women in my past, recent past, up in Langhorne. There's a woman in there that taught me a lot about this lies and manipulation and things that I've had experience with. So when it started happening with me, I started understanding it. That's why I was able to keep my cool. But yeah, I'm wrong for not stopping that day. I was wrong for not calling the police. I should have. I should have gotten this on the record. I should have had that done like that. I didn't. My concern was getting my son in for state testing. My concern was is I looked at that and I said that is wrong. That what was supposed to be in the medic, because I opened up the capsules so that he can eat it with whipped cream or applesauce at the time. So that's the only way he ate it. So it was a good thing. I think she thought he swallowed the medication with me, but he didn't. I was still opening the capsule, putting it on whipped cream or applesauce every morning for him, and that's how he took his medication. I never gave him the full capsule to take. That's the only reason why I knew that. So he was 10 back then when this happened, and to tell me that I did something that I didn't do, and then accuse me of doing the thing I didn't do, and then telling me on voicemail I didn't do something she said I didn't do, but I did. Uh, this is this is the kind of lunacy that she had to think far out to be able to take the medication out of the prescription bottle, empty out its contents, replace it with something else, put it in with the three other ones I get for the week in the Ziploc baggie. I only get an allotment of the three for the week. Not one extra, not one. She was so on that medication, so tough, tougher than having to do. She was more she's more worried about the medication than she was about his TBI and his concussion, which is hysterical. But there's no lengths that she will go to. She used the arm of Bucks County to try to um, uh, get me to react when I didn't react for her. So when she failed and she got Bucks County involved and they didn't do their due diligence, um, they're on the egg on their face too now. So it's sad. It's sad. But my point going forward is I've warned Bucks County in writing how to handle her, what to look out for, keep my son in the protective custody. Um, you know, make sure that they're both going to be okay, and don't interview her alone. And until their interview's over, seeing her go home to him and then something happen. I don't want to see nothing happen. Like if any of the truth comes out, the embarrassment she's going to have for being so narcissistic. That's what I fear. So I got to post this today. I don't know what she's up to. I don't know why she's got to know this information. I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know what she was trying to pull or going to pull or attempting to pull. Whether um, I'm not going up there. I have no scores to settle. I'm just a light. I'm just shining a light and showing everybody what's going on. So it's a good opportunity for me to start breaking down my arrest one and arrest two. The one with uh, Carla Rosati, um, you know, and then the one the year after. So once I break those down too and really explain, how my rights were violated and how Bucks County didn't look at any one bit of truth as simple as a car. Um, I mean, it's a weak case. So if they're gonna, I have to at some point. I didn't really want to break those things down. I didn't really want to go and I didn't want to I didn't want to talk disrespectfully about the police department because of my um, appreciation to those who serve this country. And that's probably why it's taken so long to say this, because these things happen in my country, the country I love, and um, weird things have been happening since the beginning. I can't explain a lot of things. I say a lot of things. I'll tell you. I told my girlfriend at work, Heather, today. I said, I got to be honest with you. I said when I first started making these videos, I explained. I said I'm only starting to learn now what I didn't know then. Like I can only now start telling you about things that happen. A lot of things I don't understand. A lot of things don't make a lot of sense to me. A lot of things, and I went through them. So imagine how difficult it is for somebody who went through these things, who can't really explain exactly, but these weird things, because those are her words. She says, Mark, I mean, you say these things to me, but a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. I said, Heather, it doesn't make sense to me, and I went through it. So how do you think I feel? So only now be able to discuss what I know now from back then, Well, yeah, I've been playing catch up. I didn't know they were going to be playing this game, but guess what? Not only did I catch up, but I got ahead, and then now I got everybody on the record. So, cheers to the Pinelands. Cheers to New Jersey, who gave me this great upbringing, who was able to go up against City Hall and say, "Well, you're kind of wrong," and we'll deal with it. So I'll pick apart all of the judges' transcripts that I have, all of the two arrests that I've gotten back to back. Um, but Bucks County not doing their due diligence, arresting me, and then putting false information inside of those, making my son write a letter to them that I'm some sort of a danger towards him, that she put him up to. You know, if she would have just left us alone and let us be instead of having to be in and out of his life 4 times in his 20 years of living at the time, yeah, I can see why he doesn't like me or frustrate me, but I also haven't had an opportunity to speak to him myself, and I have everything that he's heard about me has come from her. So, you know, uh, in the end, the MRI has got to happen because that's what you do. So, on this beautiful Monday, and so thankful to be able to enjoy this beautiful day. But if I don't say something about this and something happens, it's not on my conscience. It's not on my it's not on my watch. I did everything I could. I warned. I put it out there. I said, please look at this, please, please, please. And nobody said they want to look at anything. And I said, okay, that's fine. But God forbid, if if Carla gets upset and goes to her and say, why did you lie? Or blah 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 blah. And she starts getting caught from all these people, she's gonna have a breakdown, and she's not gonna be able to handle it. So she's gonna need somebody there for her. Protective custody, 72 hours. It's kind of like you know, if someone were to question her about any of this stuff, if her sister starts to go say, hey, listen, what happened with Josh on this date? She's gonna start losing her shit, and I don't want to see nothing happen to her. That's my son's mom. I don't want nothing to happen to her, and I don't want nothing to happen to my son. Just want a TBO, just want a MRI, CAT scan, and see a neurologist. Make sure that brain's good. So count your blessings today. Only good things are happening. But yes, this is a thought for today. But just be concerned that FDIA is the most lethal form of child abuse and abuse. And Dee Dee Blanchard didn't have to die because of Gypsy's plan, but I don't want to be associated with this situation if it goes awry, because I've begged for that not to happen. I begged not to have anything bad happen. So I'd rather fail. I'd rather say that, listen, she got FDIA, and then my son's in danger, and then herself is in danger, and because of her past history of doing these things, I'd be concerned. Then, and I tell Bucks County, then it's not on my hands. It's not. I have nothing to do with anything that would ever happen out of that. I've been trying to prevent these things. So the facts are important, and the truth is important, and my son is important. So, and my hair is not so important today. But that was just my thoughts for today. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Love each other.